I've been looking for a reason to incorporate Lady Gaga into a podcast about cycling, and I feel like I may have stumbled across a good opportunity.
Well, we had Beyonce last week.
Yeah, I feel like we're going
Why
through
Gaga?
I don't want to say yet. I don't want to say yet, but you'll find out.
Is it the meat dress? You remember the dress she wore with all the stakes on it?
Oh, that's right. No.
Anything to do with Bradley Cooper?
I love Bradley Cooper.
I don't mind him.
Those eyes. No, it's not.
You get lost in them for days.
Merxie's here.
Recording team.
Has he just nipped our Lady Gaga chat?
I think so. I think he sits in there listening for the most awkward time to interrupt our chats to tell us that he's already recording.
He runs a tight ship. On the Wheelhouse podcast, coming to you live, not live, but recording somewhere in a mysterious bunker in the city of Brisbane. There you go. I've said too much already. I'm Joel Spreadborough. Who are you?
I'm not Lady Gaga.
Not Lady Gaga.
Could be. I'm Catherine Lindsay Bates.
Catherine Lindsay Bates. It's a lovely to be back in the bunker with you. We've got so much to talk about. Why are we talking about pop stars? What on earth is a Schaefoid? How good does Tobias Foss look? Tobias Foss look in Rainbow? And so much more. And a little bit of shade between the SD Works wall. Cracks appearing. You're going to find out all of that. Let's start with a dear friend of the Wheelhouse and the guy who looks pretty resplendent in rainbows as well, that being Remco Evenepoel. What a Liège effort for him. There's always going to be a little asterisk. Now, maybe I'm the only one applying, but I'm always going to have just a tiny little look. He did well, but about this result. First male to defend Liège since the great Gino Bartoli back in 1998, Kate.
Well, fantastic result. Tremendous result.
Okay, asterisk for you or?
Yeah, my asterisk is why did he have to do it in white shorts?
You are. I'm so glad you went there. Yeah.
Did he not spare a thought for whoever was doing his laundry afterwards? The socks will have to go straight in the bin.
Oh, who's riding right behind you?
They haven't announced yet, but I wonder if they're doing the same jersey thing that Jumbo are doing.
Okay.
You know, like disinfect the jersey and the nicks and then sell it.
You sell it. It's like, what's this little stain here? Did he fall in the mud? No, I don't remember that happening. Oh gross. Well done. As you say, first world champion. I love this stat. I love this about this podcast. First world champion to win wearing white shorts. Since Paolo Bettini in 2006.
Yeah, that stat came from Merxie. I think there was a lot of discussion on our sofa at home about the white nicks, and not least because I think I've mentioned this before. When I was national champion, Nuremberg, my pro team then gave me full white kit with the green and gold stripe across the chest, but otherwise very similar to what Remco was wearing. And I felt the need every time it was wet or muddy or something to apologise to pretty much everybody in the bunch.
In advance?
On the start line. During the ride, the whole time.
Sorry, guys.
I did. The people behind me, I'm like, no, sorry, I know. You know?
Yeah.
I felt it was there was a bit of respect lacking.
A bit of a whiteout.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I was like, but you know what? I'm national champion, and if I want to wear white, I can.
You wear what you want.
However,
yeah,
I ended up having to get blue nicks because the white nicks became almost unwearable because you just couldn't get the mud out of them. Not enough nappy sand in the world.
Wow, Merxie.
Remco did change for the podium.
He did.
Oh, did he? What did he wear on the podium?
He wore dark nicks.
Okay, he went from white to dark nicks for the podium.
Well, because I was also explaining to Merxie on the couch, we talked an awful lot about laundry and nicks, I must say,
to be
this
a
week.
fly on the wall. To be a fly on the wall.
Oh, I'm not sure whether it would be exciting or you'd fall asleep. But we were talking about podium bags and the soigneur in the back of the truck. They have a thing called a podium bag,
right,
which is sneakers, clean socks, clean nicks, clean jersey, normally a hat, little washers that they then wash their face and their legs down with. It's like you put your hand inside it like a pocket.
Ah.
Give the old legs a wash so you can go up
like
on the
a
podium.
chamois of a different sort, like closer to the actual chamois than the chamois that is covering up your junk?
Yes, because it isn't an actual chamois.
Not a chamois.
No. Although,
a chamois, for those confused,
the chamois would probably be cleaner at the end of the day, Remco riding it than the outside of the nicks. But
can I just ask a quick quirk?
classy.
Just while we're going deep on white nicks here, can I ask very quickly, Merckx's just confirmed change of nicks to go onto the podium. Is that a thing? Like you go, look, I'm going to change, but I'm not going to put on a pair of shorts. I'm going to put on another pair of nicks.
Oh, yes.
You have to wear your nicks on the podium, do you?
Actually, I need to delve into the 2 million page UCI
presentation
manual on
I'm really
that.
curious. Is it a requirement?
Well,
nick up?
I've certainly never seen it not done. But at the Olympics, they don't now.
Right.
So at the Olympics, they
wear
now
the tracksuits
wear
and
tracksuits.
whatnot. Yeah.
Back in my day, and Com Games and whatnot, you wore your kit.
Yep.
So I've got some pretty plum-looking photos post-race at Com Games where, you think like you win and you're going to get these beautiful presentation photos.
Yeah.
But the protocol there is that the presentation has to be within 10 minutes of the event finishing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've spoken about this. What do you call it? The boiled beetroot face or something?
Yes, exactly. And so it's not quite as graceful as Remco got. But this podium bag, it's not his kit. It then gets laundered and gets put back in the podium kit. So it's generic. So whoever wins next from Quick Step, it's different for Remco since
he's got the rainbow.
Got the rainbows, but the rest of them would share podium clothes.
Nick sharing.
Nick sharing. Just for the.
I have a couple of hygiene related questions. Maybe we'll do a hygiene special because I feel like we should. Yeah. We could talk for 50 minutes about hygiene, but I'm just curious because it's like, congratulations, you've won the race. Jump up on the podium, get out of your white nicks, and going to all that effort of re-nicking when maybe you could just throw a pair of trackies on or boxer shorts in, whatever, footy shorts.
No, come on now.
No? Okay, impure.
Nobody even needs to see footy players in footy shorts, let alone bike riders with their cycling tans in footy shorts.
All four of the men's monuments won in a breakaway this year, and some superstitious quirk about it too. Number 21 doing the business in the first three, and Remco bucking the trend and doing it with number 1.
Except you know who was wearing number 21?
Go on.
Demi Vollering, who won the women's.
Still has its place, and we'll chat about it. And the other, you know what, I love the symmetry as well, because I love the number 23 in sport. The number on the back, Michael Jordan, Shane Warne and the like. Remco's 23. All the riders on the podium were 23.
Years of age.
Is there a conspiracy afoot? 23 on the back, 23 on the birth certificate. Doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters?
No, the number's
there.
You'll
find it. All right. We'll find that.
I get goosies. You know what I love about Remco? Well done to him, because we were talking last week about going dark on Strava, and so he comes out and so this is, ba-ba. This is what was
I believe he's already back at altitude training.
Of course he is.
Well, and hold on. While we're doing crossovers, we're recording from a suburb called Tenerife.
I know.
Do you know where do you know where a lot of them train at altitude? Tenerife.
Yeah.
Not the same Tenerife.
Definitely not the altitude that we're at, which is about -5 metres. But anyway.
I think they have one less F in their Tenerife. But,
Still, does that make it Tenerife? Or is that just... No, okay.
Or does it make this Tenerife?
Tenerific. It's Tenerific for Remco. Well done. And as I say, a slight asterisk on it, which we'll get into in a sec. But I just want to talk about Remco quickly, because I just think if it all doesn't work out for him, it's all going to work out. But if it doesn't, he's got an excellent side hustle, a really, really good side hustle, in that he has been an ambassador for Pizza Hut since 2021. And we've got some photos. You'll be able to find photos on the internet if you have a look around at a young Remco with a real Ken doll hairdo on him, a
queef, is that what we call it?
It looks like a queef, yeah.
A lot of gel in there.
Absolutely ripping into some very, very healthy and nutritious, perfect for cyclists pizza.
And it may look as though there is meat on that pizza, Joel. There is not.
No meat. Had me baffled. What is it?
It's not meat. It is vegan. It is meat-free.
Oh, so he didn't sell himself out to that extent.
It looks like meat, but it's one of those tricky meat alternatives, plant-based. It's called the Beyond Pizza.
Okay, and that's the Remco edition that they've been marketing as well.
And I think when they say the Beyond, I think it's beyond comprehension.
Yeah.
That they're tricking you with what looks like a meatbally pizza
What a
It is
sad
not.
state of affairs where we need something to look like meat to be convinced to not eat meat.
I know.
So
It's curious,
can
isn't
it at least be in the shape of a rissole?
But look, I think that we should send a gold medal effort
Yeah.
to Remco's manager
Yeah.
because we've got like Plan B all lined up
Yep.
as a pizza delivery guy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's got the sponsorship for the pizza. His other sponsors, one is BMW dealer.
Yep.
So driving around in style.
Always moving.
Yes. And then the other one is a company called Colour Monkey, which do custom paint jobs. Now,
Oh, great.
technically Colour Monkey does bikes, but I'm sure they could give him a custom paint job for the BMW
Yeah.
to deliver the pizza. Do you see where I'm going here?
I love it. There's
we
a
had
multiverse, a
we had
Remco multiverse.
Dougie, the pizza guy in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
The rest of the world's got Remco.
You know, I was the Eagle Boys guy for a couple of
Are
years.
you? I never did pizza delivery. I worked at Officeworks in the print and copy centre.
Oh,
That was
great.
my job.
I bet your Remco got paid a little bit more than I did for
Well,
my time as Eagle Boy guy.
Maybe, but it was 2021 that he first inked the deal. So I reckon Pizza Hut
Yeah.
have more than got their money's worth.
Go Pizza Hut
I reckon
on
they're
that.
relaunching
Yeah.
the Remco.
It's the Nike of the cycling world. Let's get him
Pizza
before he's
Hut.
big. It's
Oh,
like
dear.
the Jordan story all over.
Yeah, I wonder if they have potato skins in Belgium.
I couldn't tell
Hut.
you. Couldn't tell you. I'd love to know though
We'll have
because
to
I'm
ask.
not shy.
Put the
tuck into
tentacles
a-
out to the
Yeah, yeah.
management. Find out.
We'll get him on the show. We'll
Yep.
get him on the show on the Wheelhouse podcast. We're chatting about Remco's advertising career and what a career it's been. And Colour Monkey also, of course, doing the spray job on his hair to give it that beautiful tinge.
Yes,
as well.
perhaps, perhaps.
Let's talk about the asterisk that I was referring to earlier. That is, of course, the crash that stopped the world. Now, Tadej Pogacar last week. He's back to being Pogacar this week. Don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he was hurt and we didn't see it in the coverage.
Well, look, the world of cycling has gone all audio podcast on us, so no pictures.
Yeah.
So we opened the coverage, Merksy and I sitting on the sofa, salivating dogs, waiting to see the racing. We knew from the Twitterverse in particular that they were already underway. We'd watched the women's race unfold and now we were waiting for live pictures of the men.
Yeah.
Ba-boom.
Same thing. We were talking about this last week.
I know,
Yeah.
it's so... I mean, it sounds bad, but at least for once it happened in the men's race, not just the women's.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about it, ad nauseum about the women. But we're watching pictures, delayed pictures of people signing on and all this sort of stuff. And this big booming voice comes in and says there will not be a rivalry in the end between Evenepoel and Pogacar because Pogacar is out of the race at the 84-kilometre mark. He's gone down. He hasn't gotten up. He's reported to be in the team car. Nobody knows what's wrong. No pictures.
No pics.
And not even like, we'll show you like this isn't live, but we'll get pictures. Nothing. There's
Yeah.
not a photograph. There's not a moving image.
So what was the first photo that you saw? Was it him in the back of the car with the
Yes.
strapping on the you're in
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. And so what's happened is about a third of the way into the race, Mikel Honore has hit a pothole going down a hill. Apparently his wheels collapsed then under him with a pothole. Tadej has gone A over T over the top. I imagine I haven't seen it written, but I imagine he's landed on an outstretched arm because he's broken his scaphoid and one of his lunate bones in your wrist. Your scaphoid is the bone at the very bottom of your thumb.
Right.
So I've got a picture up here that is of your scaphoid pinned, which is what Tadej had done. Now, I can also say this isn't his X-ray. This is Gaviria.
I was going to say.
Yeah, this is Gaviria from last year when he had his scaphoid pinned.
I
And
love that
just
it's still in the cycling world. It's not just a random.
No, it's appropriate.
Yeah.
And the first image we saw of Tadej was, giving us like the bunny ears.
Yeah.
Yo, all is good, with a cast on his wrist after surgery because he had very quick surgery.
You have to, don't you?
His surgery was done before the race even finished.
Yeah.
Like close timing.
That's wow.
But he's in his hospital gown.
Yeah.
And he's got his then UAE big puffer jacket on and a very big smile on his face. I mean, I pontificated at the time, Joel, that perhaps he'd had a bit too much green whistle. Perhaps the anaesthetic hadn't run off because he looks like a space cadet.
As is his right in such painful
Ooh,
situations.
Yes. Good to see him smiling, though.
So you've described the scaphoid.
Scaphoid, yes.
Scaphoid, which is excellent because that's wow. But also 6 weeks. we've spoken about is how he has just been out of control this year. What does this mean moving forward? Him off the bike.
I think it changes his preparation, but I don't think it will mean that much, to be honest. I don't think it'll have too much of an impact on his tour preparation. And I say that because 6 weeks isn't 6 weeks off the bike. It's probably 6 weeks off racing. But he would have inevitably stepped back from intensity now and had a big foundation block.
Right.
1, to recover from the classics, but 2, to then build back up to the tour. So we weren't expecting him to come straight out and race again anyway.
Okay.
He'll be on the trainer already. He would have been on the trainer possibly the next day.
Well, no, UAE basically says that he'll be riding indoor trainer in the coming days.
Yeah. So
Pog is like, you sure about that? Yes, you will be back on that bike whether you like it or not.
Oh, he would go nuts if he wasn't able to get on the bike.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd have to force him. The biggest, from my view, I've broken a scaphoid, I've had a few injuries that have forced me onto the trainer, is that because you can't equally apply pressure through the handlebars and both of your hands, sometimes you protect that arm, that side a little bit, which can lead to a bit of an imbalance. Sometimes you end up sitting a bit crooked on the seat as you favour one arm.
Yeah, yeah.
So he will have to be very considered when he is on the bike to make sure that he's straight. The minute that he stops being straight, he either straightens up or he gets off. Like that's it's more management.
Yeah.
But everything else, I mean, he's probably pretty sore too. Like, give him that. But
painful injury.
But I reckon he'll be all right. And if anything, it kind of takes the pressure off a bit because it allows him, God, sounds bad, and he's not the kind of athlete that would necessarily focus on this, but it allows him an excuse, if you will.
Okay, if he doesn't.
Do you know? So if he takes a little bit longer to warm up in the tour, he won't get criticised as heavily. So the media will be a little bit kinder on him. It adds pressure in other ways, but I don't think it's so bad. And I reckon it'll leave people guessing a bit about what kind of form he's in.
Yeah.
It almost adds another element to the battle.
The battle, I love this.
The battle royale.
The battle royale, and I want to read a couple of quotes in Darth Vader voice because it's basically the level of imperial battle. He says, "Congratulations to Remco for the victory. Our battle will wait until next time." Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I think...
He's like, I'm not going away.
But let's just put our producer hats on here.
Yeah. Sports
entertainment. This is great. I mean, if we had our producer hats on, we would have actually seen the incident. So there's that.
There is that.
But, to hark back to that, I just couldn't believe that we didn't see it. At the time, I was like, this could be the biggest moment in world sport this year.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's wrong with him, what's happened, but nothing. And it's not like it happened on a quiet training road. There should have been cameras there.
There should have.
I'm cranky
and there's
about
not
that.
like a coverage related, we don't want to show pictures of this. He's had a fall and he's hurt his hand. It's not like in Formula One when a car bursts into flames. So we're not going to show you pictures of that because it could be very, very serious. So they knew that it's just shit coverage, basically.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it comes
pretty
down
much.
to. Okay. I want to mention Joris Gerinks, possibly for a short time, the most important job on the planet. He's the surgeon that fixed Pog's wrist.
In Henk.
Henk.
Starting with the...
What a job. Gee, no pressure, Joris.
Yeah.
All the best.
No, Dr. Joris, Durings, yes, you're right. That would be...
Whew.
Run-of-the-mill surgery, though.
Oh,
so,
all right. For a surgeon, I guess, but gee whiz.
Yes, but higher stakes
Yeah.
than doing it on, Mary from accounts.
Yeah.
Who needs
With
to
all
get...
respect to Mary
Yes.
from accounts, but
Yes.
you haven't won everything.
Or Bob from admin, who needs to get back to his keyboard. Same operation, different level of pressure.
You've broken me. Look, he'll be back riding indoor. I love the way he spoke about it. He's like, thanks everyone for the support. All the best to Mikel, who went down harder than me. Poor him.
Yes.
But
I'm
interested in what you're saying about there's this excuse. It's like if he doesn't go well early in the tour, it's like, if I had a better wrist, that would have been handy.
Well, he won't say it, but the media will be nicer to him because of it, which I think is the big part of it.
All right. Let's move on to a rider that while we can, he's kind of the perfect athlete at the moment. Amazing spring, amazing progression, an easy to say name. There's everything about this guy is great. Ben Healy, the Irishman who's actually an Englishman who's actually an Irishman, basically just saying, you know what? I love this quote. If you would have told me, I'll paraphrase, if you would have told me that I could be in the mix in these big races, I would have bitten your hand off. So, okay, I'll make sure to never give you praise or build you up ever, Ben. Sorry about that.
It's he's got a little bit of facial hair going on. There's a little bit of a squirrel on his face. I imagine that would be very full of dirt. He'd be carrying some extra weight by the end of such a grimy race.
Yep.
I like him. He's a bit spunky. And you know what it reminds me of? And when I say spunky, I mean his style of riding and the way that, he really attacks it. So he ended up fourth. In second was our wonderful friend Feathers, Pidcock.
Tommy P.
Yes, and Santiago Buitrago, Colombian. He was in third, which was pretty cool. You don't too often see Colombians on podiums in classics.
Yep.
We normally see them in the stage races. But I really like that Ben Healy is the overnight success that isn't an overnight success. If you go back and you look at his results from years past, you could definitely have understood that he was capable of this.
Yeah.
But until this, we haven't really seen him in the pointy end of World Tour races.
Yes.
But inevitably through this season, we're going to have 10 different conversations about, does it make it boring when the same people are winning over and over again?
Yep.
Ben Healy's a reminder that overnight things can change rapidly.
Yes.
You can get somebody who has been sitting in the wings, waiting in the wings, that a few people aren't surprised by, but most people are, to come and mix it up. The Ben Healy effect, I'm going to call it.
Oh, not the Foss effect? Did Foss get there before him? Is Healy basking in the Foss effect?
Maybe.
Or is it the Foss-Healy effect now?
Yes, I like the Foss-Healy effect.
The Foss-Healy effect.
Yes.
The Foss-Healy paradigm. It's
I like
an academic concept.
I like it. Can somebody write a paper about it just to...
I'll have it read. I'll have it on your desk Monday morning.
Put it on the internet.
First thing. Well done. I like Bealey. He's.
Yes.
I don't know about the whole. Don't tell me that I'm going to be good or I'll bite your hand off. But sure.
Yeah.
Maybe Podge is like, yeah, sure, bite my hand off. I'll get a new one. I'll be better. But anyway, that's okay. Sorry, Lotte.
Sorry, Lotte.
Sorry, Lotte. Lotte. Sorry. Geez, sorry for your name. Anyway, as if I don't know that. Sorry, Lotte.
Demi's at it
wow,
again.
Demolition. Another
Yes.
demolition. 3 from 3 for Demi Vollering.
Yeah.
SD works. Friendly fire. Sorry, Lotte.
It's pretty impressive. And she was so thrilled at the end. Not that you wouldn't be thrilled to win, but there was just something about her jubilation that shows a lack of arrogance, which someone in her position may have. But the team rode beautifully. Marlon Russa was out the front for a long portion of it. And when it swapped over and it was Vollering and she had Longo Borghini with her, she was able to be the freshest rider there because all of the other teams had to do a lot of work to get Russa back.
Yeah.
And I just think that year in, year out for the last 3 or 4 seasons, Vollering has been there or thereabouts. She's been on so many of the podiums. But to step up and win all 3 in a row... pretty impressive, I got to say.
It is, remarkable. And we've been talking about Demi Vollering and her in weird rivalry with Lotte Kopecky as well. And I'm like the sorry Lotte when Lotte wasn't even there. Is that a bit snarky?
Right, out of context, like,
yeah. So it's like, sorry, where's Lotte? She's not here. Well, anyway.
I still have so many question marks about what went on at Strada Bianchi when she got cranky about the win. But she said sorry to Lotte because she took over the World Tour jersey, the purple leaders jersey of the World Tour that Lotte had.
Yeah.
I don't think Lotte's too concerned about it, though, because she was very busy at the Milton World Cup over in Canada.
Over in Canada.
Winning.
Yeah.
Winning gold. Wearing her rainbow jersey. She's World Madison champion with Shari Bossert, who rides for the AG Insurance Soudal team, the Paddy's second-tier women's team. They're world champions. They absolutely stomped it in over there, so I'm not too concerned.
And I'm sure she wasn't either. Good omens for Paris and whatnot. Good form in Milton. Now, again, another suburb share here. Milton, a suburb in Brisbane. If you've heard of the Beer Forex, that's where it lives.
You don't need to necessarily know too much about Forex.
No.
That comes from somebody who didn't grow up, born and bred up here.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. That angle. No,
That
that's
angle,
fair.
yeah.
But yeah, they weren't in Brisbane. They were in Canada and Lotte. Not there to respond to the sorry Lotte. But Demi, you got to, everything else aside, what a year. 3 from 3. It's
just remarkable. And I hope that she does get some downtime now because it's still a big season to come, and I can see her playing a very important role through the Women's Tour de France Femme.
the fam.
And so I hope that she is able to get a bit of downtime and rebuild.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be on for the whole year. And now that World Championships are in August, it's a bit of a different season to normal.
Yeah. On the Wheelhouse podcast, I have one thing to say to you.
Rough!
Ruff! There's a new trend emerging, and I really like it. We've spoken a lot about kids on podiums. You had an issue with a kid giving you a kick in the shins a few years back, but maybe have warmed to the idea of kids on podiums.
Oh, yes.
But
now that I'm a mother, I think they're special moments.
you're just like, kick away, darling.
You
it's
want
fine.
them in there.
But fur babies, dogs,
Yes.
making their way. We got
Dogfluencers, if you will.
dog fluid. Tommy P, Furthers, Furthers Pidcock, getting a lovely little chin lick from his pooch. Is that a sausage that he's got?
It is. It's a rescue dog named Bear, I believe. That's what the interwebs tell me.
Demi as well. Demi with, is it Flo?
Flo. Demi goes
Flo.
training with Flo on her back. Flo, I don't know what breed Flo
I love
is,
that.
but from pictures I've seen,
Black Lab?
No, I think more like a
Kelpie?
sheepdog.
I'm just
Yeah.
throwing out. German
That
Shepherd,
style.
Rottweiler, Poodle.
The point being, it's a fairly big dog. So
Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking probably like 20 plus kilos.
No wonder she's winning
And she
everything.
puts Flo in a backpack and takes Flo for a little trundle.
And then the race day comes and she's like, okay, Flo, you wait here and
Yes.
I'll go in 20 kilos lighter and win by 8 squillion miles.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and Feathers puppy gave him a very enthusiastic face lick at the finish.
Yeah. I love it. I think
it's
it's
a bit
great.
cute. Well, but it's a real question, Joel. If children are allowed on the podium, what about the puppos?
I think a rider should be able to acknowledge those who give them the support and the inspiration, the influence, the love, the care. And if that's a dog, cat, bird, mouse, heck, even a pet
come on
snake.
now.
I'm
not sure
I'm
we
good
need
with
any
it.
pythons.
I can't
podium.
wait for the day we see someone go up there with a carpet python wrapped around their neck.
Where it could get a little bit, difficult is if, for example, if you took your dog up and then you won a big ham, like keeping them separated could be an issue.
If you win a big sausage.
Yes. And the sausage dog, that could just cause trauma.
You know what, though? Like most things with the UCI, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yes,
We'll make up a
indeed.
rule when the time is right.
And in the meantime, if anybody has a cute dog, could you please take it up onto the podium and see what happens?
Please show us.
Yeah, give us
This is
an insight.
my pet dog. Second place is a pet cat. Third place is a pet mouse. Absolute pandemonium on the podium.
Yes.
Pet chickens. Pet alligator. Imagine that.
Yes.
This is Gary. He's a 6 metre saltwater crocodile that I just has driven me every way
Yes.
to this podium.
Therapy pet.
Yeah, exactly. Carpet python. Mine's a red belly black. Is that
Yeah,
okay,
oh,
everyone?
yeah.
That's okay. There's no limit. Now let's talk about a debut at 42 because there's comebacks and departures, but then there's Alejandro Valverde.
Alejandro.
Alejandro.
This is Gaga.
Yes.
This is what you were thinking of.
This is
not
why
the meat
Lady
dress.
Gaga is relevant. Yeah, sorry,
I
you were
thought-
close.
I was thinking meat dress, dogs on podiums.
Yeah.
That's no. Okay, all right.
Uh-oh. Singing break.
Don't call my name. Don't call my name.
I don't know the words.
Alejandro. Is that
This isn't... Wait, is this Lady Gaga?
Merxy?
Hello.
I'm a bit concerned about that Alejandro. That doesn't really sound like Gaga.
Is that Gaga, Merxy?
We don't have the budget for Lady Gaga. This is the karaoke version.
Oh, did you
I
lay
love
down
that.
this track earlier?
Yeah, I did this just before we came on. Can't you tell?
I love this song. I think Lady Gaga is solely responsible for Australians saying Alejandro Valverde rather than Alejandro.
Not calling him Alejandro.
No.
Have never
Less
been
of a ring to it.
guilty of that. Onto the gravel World Series debut. Has a win. So much for retiring, just quietly. But look, go for it, Alejandro. That's fantastic.
Go for it, Alejandro.
I love it.
Well, he retired, but then Movistar announced that they were going to have a gravel team. They're so cool as a World Tour team. They've got an esports team and a gravel team, men's World Tour Road, women's World Tour Road.
Wow.
Coolest World Tour team out there from that. And I did notice, though, that they changed up the kit a little bit so that the gravel team has brown nicks. I guess so.
Note for Remco.
Dust, yes. Yeah.
Try the brown pants.
Yeah. Alejandro, if you could give Remco a call.
I love how there's a photo of him sitting there. He looks remarkably like former Australian Formula One driver Mark Webber. But anyway, that's another story. Blending into the background.
Yes.
He's sitting against a rocky wall, brown rocky wall, and you can't see his bottom half.
He's very pensive. Very pensive. Well, he won the first round of the Gravel World Series. Now, there's 16 rounds this year, so I reckon this won't be the last that we see of Alejandro.
Okay.
Worlds are in Italy. Wout van Aert, our own Wout van Aert. I say our own because the Wheelhouse has adopted him.
Yeah.
He said
has the Wheelhouse as a whole, or has Kate Bates adopted Wout?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
6 to 1, half dozen to the
Sure.
other. Van Aert has said that he might want to ride Worlds.
Oh, he can do what he wants.
You know, there's some big names that are interested in gravel. And I got to tell you, I went on my gravel bike on the weekend. I went out with Merksy. We actually did put the photos on our socials. He had the mountain bike.
Yeah.
And I had my gravel bike.
You went on gravel, yeah.
For the most part, it was pretty cool.
Okay.
And I could actually keep up with him up the hills because the gravel bike's a bit faster.
I can't give some, of course you're an Olympian, world champion, but also Merksy busted a quad kicking a football last week. Sorry to reveal but Merksy.
Moving on.
That was post mountain bike. I just don't think we had the recovery and the stretch down.
Yeah, okay. That was okay. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, well done to you guys because taking the gravel and some of the. I know the area. There's some rippy trails.
Well, I'm just saying, Valverde 42 on the gravel world scene.
42.
I'm not too far off that.
You're going to do it.
Only a few years behind him in the
42
birthday.
42 on debut.
Yes, sorry,
okay,
Merksy.
Only podium for movie star in a while.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. Oh, Liana Lippert. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Off the top of my head.
Okay.
You're right. And she's a lady.
For
the Movistar men, they're still relying on Alejandro.
Yes. Alejandro. Well, look, looking forward, we'll follow that with interest because, as you say, big season ahead, one down at 42. I'm just going to remind you again, at 42. Anyway, let's move on.
Age is just a number, Joel.
Sure is.
Something that only old people say.
Unless you're kicking footies, right, Merksy? Let's move on to Romandy. Now, we got to see Tobias Foss, who I argue is the flag bearer for what we were talking about before, the outside, what do we call it now, the big 50, whatever it is, riders outside that big 600 that are having moments. And he had his moment in Wollongong when he shocked the world at taking out the time trial. We got to see him in the bows. He looked all right, Toby.
He did.
He looked all right.
Oh, he looked so good in the rainbow stripes. And can I say, what a beautiful job that Jumbo-Visma have done with a rainbow stripe disc wheel and the bike. It's like just the most
isn't it a
beautiful.
Ripper? Yeah.
It really is a very beautiful combination that they've done there. Now, he didn't win, though. He didn't win the prologue. He was beaten by Joseph Cerny, the Czech rider, riding for Paddy Lefevre.
Your mate.
So at least Paddy,
he's
been throwing shade every week. He throws shade,
yes.
But at least they got a win.
Welcome to the top 600, Joseph.
Well, but he didn't keep the jersey for too long. Ethan Vernon won stage 2. The Brit riding for Ineos. But, you know, I feel as though the racers are listening to our show, the race organisers, Joel. And they're like, what can we do that's utterly ridiculous that Kate and Joel could find amusing?
Yes.
Thank you, Tour of Romandy. Half the bunch got lost.
Yeah, I was reading about this. It still baffles me that this can happen.
Well,
it really
me
does.
too, but in every race Bible you get, which is what the manual is called, the Bible, it very clearly says that the directions are the responsibility of the rider.
Yes.
Right? And it says that because really often people get lost and looking someone to blame. Anyway, they made it within the time cut, but they came through toward the finish going the wrong direction on open roads with cars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
To come into so oopsie.
Yeah, big oopsie.
Yes.
How does that? How do you get into an open road? Like, how is the course? How is there not like a barrier preventing you from getting to
who knows?
Did they like jump the pavement and cut through a warehouse or something?
Maybe they smelt a waffle and wanted a snack. I don't know. But I'm glad everyone's safe and they made the finish within time.
And in all seriousness, it could have gone horribly awry.
Well, you know who it went horribly awry for? Mark Cavendish. Out.
DNF. A DNF for the Manxie. What happened there?
I don't know, but he's not having a good run.
Is he, Merksy, when is he coming on the show? Merksy's good mates with Cav. Yeah.
He's not answering our calls currently.
He's gone underground.
Never give up. Never give up. Okay, so look, Toby's Frost, well done. A sad note too, because our dear friend Rowan Dennis has been targeting. He had it circled in big red ink on the calendar for a number of months, and he's withdrawn. He's withdrawn despite the big intentions.
I am really bummed for Rowan Dennis. Yeah, he did tell Cycling News a little while back that it was a very big goal for him with the time trial and to win the overall. It hasn't started, not well, but it just made me think of, you know, what's going on with Rafa Nadal at the moment.
Yeah.
Will we ever see him back playing tennis? Surely this can't be the end of his career.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping the same for Rowe. I hope that he gets to go out on his own terms to a degree. And I only have to think, and I'm sorry, Merksy, brace yourself for this one, that Peter Sagan is also having a really rough trot in his final year.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Oh, but it kind of sucks, right?
Yeah,
like these really big champions, we want to see them go out in a way befitting
of course you do.
of their career.
Yeah, it's awful.
So get well soon, Rowie.
I love you. Nadal as the example there. The great Roger Federer as well. We barely saw him hit a ball in anger for the last several years.
Well, there are a
of his
lot
career.
of tears on retirement day for him. If you saw the images of that, it was quite an emotional day.
It would add so much to what is already a very heavily taxing emotional moment in your life. Obviously, when that's been your life for so long, it's like I haven't even been able to go out in style. Like we were talking excitedly about Rohan earlier this year on this very podcast, believe it or not, around Tour Down Under and that kind of thing, and how excited we were for him to go out and
pulled off a ripper win down to Victor Harbour.
And we was like,
good old
watch him this year. Watch this blaze of glory, this blaze of green and gold glory, this streak of Australian blue. And,
keep going. You're on a roll.
Thanks. But unfortunately, we are all not rejoicing because he's struggling. So hopefully he can get back on. You know what he might need? A prolonged session in an ice bath. And you know who could probably tell him about the benefits of that? Catherine Lindsay Bates. Yeah, what the...
I got an ice
I'm not going to say the F-word, but what the fire truck were you thinking?
I can confirm I did say...
For those listening, I haven't seen it before. This image has just popped up of a very aggrieved-looking Kate Bates in an ice bath.
It was frigid in there. It was
frigid.
Well, I'm aiming for around the 14-degree water temperature is where you need to get the shiver. So the whole point is that you get in and you actively shiver.
Look at you. I'm sorry.
So you said that you didn't swear, you know, for decorum. I can confirm I did swear on day one getting in. I'm on day 3 or 4 now.
Okay.
So I eagerly ordered a inflatable at home. What's the insulated so it holds the cold ice bath for home?
Esky technology.
Yep. Human-size Esky technology.
Esky tech, yeah.
I then proceeded to go to the servo and get many bags of ice.
Yeah.
Put it in with the water as cold as possible out of the tap, which in Queensland isn't as cold as you may imagine. I'll say that. Look, the point is, Joel, week in, week out, we're sitting in here analysing, like really hardcore analysing these athletes' performances. And I thought, back in my day, ice baths weren't really a thing. I mean, they were like you jump in to recover, but it was very short, small purpose, not broadly used.
Yeah.
But the new science is saying that daily ice
baths.
Either in the morning, some people do it before bed because it can release melatonin and help you sleep well, but very good for your dopamine, your epinephrine levels, like all these happy brain chemicals.
Yeah.
Very good for inflammation.
Oh, yeah.
There's even a very good thing on thermogenesis, so your temperature regulation. They even say like that it's good for weight loss, Joel.
Wow.
All of those things.
You know,
and I think that last one is probably what I'm in there for.
Yeah,
for
really
heart
good
health.
for the lungs, heart health, for asthmatics. I'm a huge subscriber to cold water, always have been for that reason.
So there you go. So the protocol is I get in until I shiver actively for a couple of minutes, get out, shiver actively, get back in, do that a couple of times. Is the point. I've got to build up to it, I got to say.
Oh, look, good on you.
There was a lot of active shivering.
Active shivering.
Going on.
Active shivering,
yes.
Okay. And for the record, esky, one of the great generifications, it's actually called an ice chest.
An ice chest?
Yes, but the brand esky is big generified it.
Well,
you know,
and
like Q-tips.
I am going to get you in said ice bath.
Oh, bring it on. Honestly, I will talk.
Merxie's going to film it.
Yep.
And if you can manage to get through, you know, like a speech of sorts without swearing, then I
will take on that challenge with hunger.
Yes.
I've jumped into freezing bodies of water in Austria, Germany, Japan. I can't. I've got a real thing for it.
Hey, look, we are seeing a run of Norwegians at the World Tour. You know what they do? They jump in the snow or in the frozen.
They do.
Right?
And it's fantastic.
I'm increasing my performance.
Yep. Mystery Alaska. Great movie with Russell Crowe.
Professionalism of the wheelhouse just went up a notch.
It sure has.
Yeah.
Mystery Alaska, they all strip off, run bare naked, jump off the jetty into a near frozen lake. Very inspiring content. Not the nude group of nude men, but the ice thing. I like it very much. Now, it's been a busy year for the peloton, and I think everyone deserves a break from time to time. Sometimes it's good to just switch off and just chill out and just really just take a load off and stop thinking about it.
Get a massage, watch some Netflix.
You know, ride 300 kilometres.
Have a sauna.
Wait.
What?
Double take. Wout van Aert takes a break by going for a 300-click sidle on his gravel bike.
Not bad.
This is why he's a friend of yours. I mean, the wheelhouses, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, he went with a couple of mates. He did. He jumped on his gravel bike. He loaded it up with all his, essentially bike packing, so self-sufficient.
Yep.
He put it on Strava. See, he hasn't hidden his Strava yet. Just saying.
He's not shying away, Lefebvre.
He's got a bit of a sense of humour. He put it as the champagne chase.
Okay.
Which suggests what they were doing in the evenings. But 7 hours a day on the bike they were clocking. And one of the fellows that he rode with put a bit of a funny post on. It was on an Insta story, so I should have screenshot it the second I saw it. Alas, I did not. So I can only tell you what it said, not show you.
I prefer your description.
And it was a photo of the pair of them pushing their bikes up a hill that was, I suppose, normally a bit of a gravel fire trail, but that was mud, deep mud, pushing it, and it looked pretty miserable. Okay. And he said, "Just follow," said the master.
Oh, wow. Wow.
As Wout was up ahead. And I imagine that Wout was the navigator.
I would have been dominating.
Dominating.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Dominating. Go out, you dominate. Hey, that wasn't my Arnie. Come on.
No, actually, that sounds more like you're about to talk about subwoofers.
Subwoofer. Look, good on him. It's self-contained bike with all the pack on it, going for a 300k jaunt.
I've already mentioned my gravel bike today. I think that a wheelhouse adventure could be on the cards.
There's a lot of cyclocross about that, getting up those muddy slopes and whatnot.
I know, but I'm thinking like Brisbane Valley Rail Trail.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And you, Merxie, and I can ride, and your darling wife Lee could perhaps be the champagne that we're chasing.
She'll be in the chopper. She'll be in the chopper.
Get the chopper.
Merxie, progress on Wout coming on the wheelhouse. You left a message for him, I believe, last week.
Yeah, it should be fine after the tour.
Great, post-tour.
Excellent. All right, we'll check
first.
in again.
Women's Welter coming up. That's exciting. What are you excited about?
I'm excited that they're starting to lengthen it and turn it into a real tour. That excites me. It was also toward the end of the year. It coincided more with the men's Welter, because we now can call it the men's Welter and the women's Welter.
Yeah.
So it's 7 days now, 703 kilometres. It's a start. It started as a one-day race, and then it was a 3-day race, and it's built up. Last year, Annemiek van Vleuten, she won.
Of course she did.
Alyssa Longo-Borghini was second, Demi Vollering third. Now, if you look at those names, clearly Vollering is on form.
Yeah.
But does she need a break? Ooh, Longo-Borghini, now she was second in LBL. she's on the comeback after a little bit of a sidestep with COVID earlier in the season. And Annemiek, well, we talked last week about how she's been racing with a bit of frustration.
Yeah.
So this may give her a chance at a bit of a long form racing to come back and see what she can do. But I think it would be exceptionally special for Van Vleuten to step up wearing the Movistar colours in Spain in her last season. I'd love to see
That'd be very special.
I would really love to see her be successful here. And I think it would mean more in terms of her association with the sport this year to do that on home soil, being Spain in a Spanish team.
On a patch.
Even than the Tour de France Femme.
Okay.
Because she won the first one.
Yeah.
So she's already gone and done that.
Tick.
I reckon this is big on her list.
I got 2 questions about
It'll be
Demi,
good to watch.
just quickly, because Demi, that first is one-day form carrying over to stage racing. You're okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, if we look at Pogacar and how he did it aside from the fall, it depending on your physiology, you can do it. Some athletes can do it. Some athletes absolutely cannot. So I think that typically we'll see Pogacar in normally excellent form for the Tour de France, but you can see that there's a big gap between the classics and the Tour. Demi doesn't get that. So if she is, and I might say it starts on the 1st of May, we still haven't got confirmation of any start lists. That's in a couple of days
days away
from when we're recording. So, that's a little bit concerning, but, so it is. So I think that that's a bit harder for Demi. But if she is, in fact, lining up and going to be targeting the Women's Vuelta, she would have had a different program between the Classics races than someone like Pogacar, who's building for July.
Who's building, and he's also screwed, literally the screws. It's funny when you see x-rays of those screws, it literally looks like a kid's cubby house. They go in all directions and it's all very weird. But I want to ask about Demi just quickly. You've given an excellent analysis around her form and her prospects. Why did you call out and ask about her mascara?
Oh, you saw that. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I asked about her mascara, and not to cheapen what she had just achieved, I did preface it with that. I said, most important is what she's just achieved.
Yeah.
But I find it very impressive. A lot of the Dutch riders in particular, it's a bit of a cultural thing. They often wear a little bit of makeup when they race.
Yep.
Not a cultural thing for Australians. So when I first went to Holland and saw them all wearing makeup, I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. They always look so well put together at the end of a race.
Yep.
I think we've described in enough detail how I looked at the end of a race. Not well put together.
You've described it.
I have, yes. Yeah. But it just was mind-boggling to me that at the end of a rainy, grimy, crappy race, she looked like she'd just stepped out of the salon. Okay. So I asked Twitter.
Onto the red carpet.
Yeah, I said, hey, she's amazing, but can somebody please help me with what mascara she uses?
Yep.
When women wear mascara and they exercise, Joel, just in case you haven't noticed, tend to look like a panda bear at the end.
A bit
with
of panda
mascara
action.
all over your face.
Okay.
Now, I will say Matthew Mitchell on Twitter, he's helped.
G'day, Matthew. Thank you.
G'day. He's an excellent journo, I must say. Big shout out to him because he gives me a lot of the women's content. I follow him on Twitter and he's more prolific in the women's space than any of our other journos. So it's very good. From the UK. Now, he said that the mascara comes from Hamer, which is, like a kind of Priceline-y sort of place in the Netherlands. I looked it up. It's called Watch Me Wink Volume.
Watch Me Wink Volume.
Yes, and it's about €6, so pretty well priced. But to get it in Australia, it was going to cost me $51.
Ooh.
So Maybelline, I'm going to try.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybelline. Yeah, okay.
But I've got some big Zwifting events coming up.
Yeah, you do.
Very sweaty environment, Zwift. So I might try.
Yeah.
I might go and try some, €6 equivalent, so not the expensive stuff, and see if I can do a bit of a mascara review. Now, if I can get through a Zwift session and the mascara is not running down my face, I dare anyone.
I'll do it.
Because you can try it too.
We'll get a crack.
Yeah.
We'll do the ice bath and a mascara test.
I am a sweaty person.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a crack.
Now, on that, let's finish up today because I love this. Of the many initiatives that you get involved in, another very, very important one. You're doing a rather large virtual ride raising money for youth homelessness, obviously a very, very important cause.
It is. It's such an important cause. There's an organisation called Father Chris Riley's Youth Off the Streets. It's been around for a very long time, and they have really changed the face of youth homelessness around the country. They started in New South Wales. It's primarily like 12 to 25-year-old kids who may come from disadvantage. They may just be facing all sorts of challenges in their life. Exceptionally important cause in my mind. Since 1999, they've raised $3.5 million for youth homelessness through this fantastic initiative, a big ride. So this year it's the Sydney to Surfers, and it's about 1,000K, and there will be a whole lot of people, including kids, who have been brought to cycling to help them through some of their life challenges, who will ride from Sydney to Surfers Paradise in Queensland, so about 1,000K. Now, the problem is that next year the police aren't going to support the ride.
Right.
So it makes it unsafe and impossible
to do it on the road. Yep.
So what they're trying to do to ensure that this cause continues, because it's such an important cause, is to send it onto Zwift to do a virtual ride so that people can still join along, join the effort, be part of the community, help to raise some money. So I will be ride leading for the virtual Sydney to Surfers. The Wheelhouse has donated to the cause, and we're really proud to be doing that. So it's 6:30 to 7:30. I laugh because I don't like mornings, so I'm up for a bit of a challenge here. But 6:30 to 7:30, starting on the 29th of April.
Okay.
Every day until the 5th of May.
6:30 to 7:30 not being 1 hour.
Oh, an hour.
Being an hour, okay.
Yeah, so
I thought you meant for a second there was just 13 hours.
No, just an hour each morning.
All
so
right.
you can jump onto Zwift if you're on there and take a look at these events and come and join us. Matthew Keenan will be doing the 4th of May. He'll be leading that ride. Otherwise, you're stuck with me and my conversation along the way, because I'll be chatting on the screen.
But chats,
it is and look, from 1991, this is a service that they include crisis accommodation, alcohol and drug services, counselling. They've got this fantastic program called Change the Cycle, where they're in schools. I think they've got about 8 schools at the moment where they have a cycling program.
Lovely.
And but the kids have to earn it. So if they're not turning up to school and they're not getting grades and they're not putting in, they're not allowed to do the program. So it becomes quite a big enticement for them, and it's had an enormous impact. This
so
schools
good.
program.
Yep.
So I want to say to Anita Heathcote, who runs the schools program, this is one of the most incredible ways of mobilising and using cycling to give a feeling of, empowerment to kids who are vulnerable and in a position to perhaps not know how to move forward.
Yeah.
Putting them on bikes, teaching them how to ride bikes, being part of a community is literally helping them move forward. It helps them find employment. It gives them something to look forward to every day. I love it. Awesome. I'm a big fan of it. So I'll be doing that.
Do you know why the police pulled their support of the
police
road ride?
in New South Wales, it's a bit of a complicated situation, I think. It's notorious in New South Wales for being tough to get police support for rides. I think it's probably something to do, I imagine. I haven't been able to dig any deeper on that. Yeah. But I think it's around resourcing and whatnot. But it's a real shame because it's such an important part of Father Chris Riley's Youth Off the Streets program. And I really want to encourage people to jump on Zwift and get involved, because I really want to make sure that we can take this from an on the streets event to a virtual event and make sure these kids are still getting that support. And the course mapping very much sort of mirroring the actual route that you'd be taking as much as exactly.
possible.
So on day one, we're virtually riding from Hornsby to Bulahdelah, I think. Yeah. So, there'll be different worlds throughout the Zwift universe that we'll be riding on every day.
Yeah, I had a look at the breakdown. It's pretty cool.
So it'll be a bit of fun.
Yeah. So this is like this. This is like that. That'll be great. Look, and you spoke so beautifully about it, so passionately. What a cause, and good luck to everyone that's involved. That's extraordinary.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
My final job is we are a 2-trainer household. Is to get Merksy on the other trainer.
He'll be there.
Before
if
school
you're
run.
getting me into an ice bath, you're getting Merksy onto the
Yeah,
Zwift
what do you
bike.
reckon, Merksy? Can we count you in?
We'll see.
I'll set his bike up on the trailer and, the rest is history.
Well, we'll stay in touch about that and how that unfolds. Kate Bates, good on you. Well done you for getting involved with such important causes. Speaking of important causes, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. It's the Wheelhouse Podcast coming to you from a mysterious location, which we inadvertently reveal every single week.
Tenerife.
Tenerific.
Tenerific.
It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao for now. Don't call my name.